Hi everyone! In my last video, I asked if people would want to maybe see a Japanese study routine from me, and a lot of people actually said yes in the comments, so here we are. I hope that maybe this video will help some people start learning a language, or continue learning a language, or just maybe find some new resources to help them out and keep them motivated. That's kind of my goal, so let's jump right into it. My main thing for self-study is that the internet is basically just your greatest advantage. Um, a SRS system that I love to use is called Anki. It's completely free. You can use it on a browser or you can download it to your computer. I believe they have an app version as well. Basically, you can make your own flashcards or you can download flashcard decks that other people have made. And then you can use it every single day. Usually, I like to just grab a coffee in the morning, wake up, walk my dog, and then do my Anki. It's a great way to start the day and to learn a lot of new words. This deck that I'm using in this video is the Core 10K deck, which is kind of a famous deck if you are self-studying Japanese. It's 10,000 commonly used words, and I really like the sentences that they give, and also sometimes pictures or multiple different sentences, as well as the kanji with a furigana option if you are not that far into your kanji studies yet. I definitely recommend doing this, regardless of the language that you're learning. It's just good to learn as many words as you can, as fast as you can. Even if you have trouble with grammar, if you know some words, it'll be way easier for people to understand you. So every day I wake up and do my Anki 100%. And if you're someone like me who has decided to take on the challenge of learning a language in a different script than your native language is in, you are going to have to learn new letters, which can be extremely rewarding but very challenging, especially if you are not sure where to go. Kanji is kind of the third alphabet that you would want to learn when you do Japanese after learning hiragana and katakana. And there are a whole bunch of kanji, and there are a million different ways people would recommend learning them. I learned quite a few just from talking to people and just kind of my own little immersion bubble, but nothing has really helped me the same way that Wanikani has. You can do Anki decks for kanji as well. There are many different ones. Kanji Damage I definitely recommend, especially if you kind of like a little bit more crass humor. But Wanikani is a paid service. You pay monthly for it, and it is just about teaching you kanji. I have found that the way that they get you to remember them is really funny and humorous to me, and I am absolutely planning on going through all of this. Even the kanji that I have already learned, I do find that there are new ways to remember it, or new readings that I didn't know existed for that kanji. So I definitely would recommend Wanikani, even though it is paid and not completely free. I love supporting the people who have created it. I think it is a fantastic program. Nothing has taught me kanji as fast as this has, and I think I'm going to use their program all the way to level 60 and then probably continue to use it just to keep it up. So I definitely recommend Wanikani if you are learning your kanji, if you are learning Japanese specifically. This is fantastic. Just also another thing for you Japanese learners, especially if you're closer to beginner, if you want to learn from my mistakes, learn your kanji as early as possible. I focus too much on grammar and words and just trying to talk and understand. And while it did definitely help me and I got a lot better, it was so frustrating to get further in my textbook and not be able to read the kanji, or have a book that I would generally understand, but I couldn't read the kanji. I definitely recommend getting your kanji to be above the level that you are at with your grammar or speaking skills. I know it can be frustrating in the beginning, especially when you're just trying to figure out the language, but the sooner you can get the million letters down, the better. Even if you can just get a little bit of a head start, it's going to help you so much. So learn your kanji, people, please. Internet resources are fantastic, but textbooks are going to be kind of the meat of your grammar, especially in my situation. I'm currently using the Shinkansen Master N4 series just because I was planning on taking my N4 in December before it got canceled on me. So I'm still studying these books just so that hopefully I can do these and then maybe take my N3 in 2021. It's kind of my plan. But as far as textbooks go, if you are a native English speaker learning Japanese, I definitely would recommend the Genki books to get you through N5, N4 content. I've heard that if you are coming to Japanese from a language other than English, that Minna no Nihongo might be a little bit better, but I've never used that book, so I don't know. as well as I will learn my grammar, and then my Hobonichi Weeks has some quotes in Japanese, so I will kind of underline kanji that I don't know and then try to translate the quote by the end of the week. It's getting easier and easier for me, which is just like my own little challenge. But once I'm done a chapter in my textbook, the next thing for me to do is to condense the notes into my notebook here. I have a notebook just for this. I try to make them pretty and as condensed and kind of simple for me to understand as possible. I even gone back to just like the beginning of Genki, which I didn't even study individually, just so that I have the resources. So if I go, what have I learned? What do I know? I can go back without having to open the full textbook and read everything over again. This is very helpful. Now, I have been very lucky to have spent quite a bit of time in Japan, and when I'm there, I always go to used bookstores and pick up as many books as possible. I think my friends kind of get concerned because I'm just coming back to Canada with just a suitcase full of books. But I do that on purpose so that when I come back, I have lots to read. I pick up manga that's interesting to me, or manga that I've read in English, or books based on video games that I've played. It's very cheap. You can see it's like 100 yen for a Death Note book. And I just find that I can do this when I have a good 30 minutes. It's interesting to me. I love reading, and then I can also just keep a dictionary open so that when there's a word I come across that I don't know, I can write it down, maybe put it into my own Anki deck, or just be aware of words that come up a lot that I don't understand. I've learned a lot of new vocabulary, a lot of kind of slang gets picked up this way that gets missed in my textbook. I think reading as much as you possibly can is very helpful, but I understand that a lot of people, don't have the a book off next to them. So I would say it is possible to get a Kindle and connect it to a Amazon Japan account or the Amazon account of whatever language you're trying to learn, their country. This way I'm able to grab comics as well as full-on books, just more stuff that I would like to read. I know that a lot of Kindles also have a built-in dictionary in them, and they will keep track of words that you look up. So that's another way to be aware of what you need to learn and what you're kind of going for, as well as keep track of goals of words you didn't understand, but maybe now you do. It's great to keep a notebook handy just to write down what you're missing, what kanji you're missing, what words you're missing, and then fully understand what you're reading. And it's very rewarding when there's a manga you start that you can't really read that well, but by the end of it, you understand it quite decently. And it feels fantastic. It's one of my favorite things about learning this language. Kind of on a similar level, if you are wanting to do kind of a faster paced version, is to consume visual media like TV shows or movies in your target language. I do love this Chrome add-on called Learning Japanese with Netflix, where you can open up the target language subtitle and then mouse over any words that you're not sure of and see the translation of them immediately. You can also set it to stop at the end of every single sentence so that you can go back, read, make sure you understand, and then just press space to continue. I find it's a fantastic add-on. If you have access to a VPN, you will have access to so much content in your target language that you won't even know what to do with it. Aguretsuko makes me laugh so much. It is one of my favorite shows to watch in English, in Japanese. Even if you're not trying to learn Japanese, just watch this show. It makes me laugh. I recommend it just outside of language learning. But yes, Netflix, any kind of streaming service, or even just finding YouTubers or Twitch streams that are in your target language and learning that way is another way to just kind of get your brain inside the language, even if you're not in the country that speaks it. It is a fantastic way to just kind of get used to the language and learn a lot of new words as well. Social media can also be a fantastic resource, whether you're following people who speak your target language, or you're keeping yourself accountable by trying to post things every day that you're studying, or if you're just there to lurk and use other people's posts to inspire you. There's a huge language learning community, especially on Instagram and I believe Tumblr. If you want to just go on those sites and talk with other people or see what they're posting to keep yourself motivated, it's a great strategy as well. If you are part of the planning, journaling, bullet journaling community, another way to keep yourself accountable is to try journaling in your target language or writing down your to-dos in your target language. If you have a hobonichi that's in Japanese, like I said, you can translate the quotes. If not, maybe just say, I'm going to write the first 3 lines of my journal entry in my target language every single day, and then maybe up that to 4 or 5. It is a great way to keep going. I bought my Hobonichi Weeks initially because I wanted to use it for goal setting and keeping track of myself. So generally using it to keep track of my progress in the N levels for Japanese is a natural progression of me using it. This is kind of what my current spread looks like. And then I will just kind of fill in things that I'm doing, where I'm at. And as the pages get filled, you start to realize exactly how much you've learned. So making some kind of chart in a notebook you have will just keep track of your progress and make you feel so much better in the long run. So those are some things that I try to do every day to keep my Japanese up and continue to get better at the language. Remember that everybody has different amounts of time to study, so keep track of yourself and don't overwork yourself. But everybody keep doing your best. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a good day.